Hey guys, this is James here at Unique Perspectives. God bless you guys. Want to encourage you to like and subscribe, please. And it's encouraging to me to make more content for you. Yeah, I've been doing this for some years now on social media, just sharing my random thoughts on Facebook and even Instagram. So I decided to just make that transition about 7 months ago, and so here I am. So yeah, I actually wanted to just kind of ramble a little bit with my random thoughts about the idea of men considering dating and even possibly marrying single mothers. And I think it's just an interesting topic. I'll probably dig in deeper in this topic with other people and things like that, but I want to just share some random thoughts just so at least I can have a video about this, because I think it's a very important topic to address. First thing I will say is that I think it is incredibly terrible that there is some type of movement, and I'm gonna say not only within the red pill movement, but it's within a lot of different movements between or amongst men that really are teaching other men, younger men, never to consider being with a single mother. And so the premise or the idea behind this is that single mothers, they fail to live up to the expectation of their first relationship or second, and they failed. Their marriage didn't work out, their relationship didn't work out, so that's supposedly, according to these groups of people that think this way, that's a sign that a woman is not suitable to be taken seriously, because she's obviously ruined her past relationships, and it's just a matter of time before she ruins her future relationships. There are also guys that I know that will prey on single mothers, because single mothers have to be mindful not to really just put their kids in danger, so they have to be more cautious and careful with how they move, how they operate when it comes to their lifestyles, with their decision making. And so there are some guys that see single mothers as targets, and they don't take them seriously, and I think it's just sad. I think the very first time I encountered someone in my life that had an issue with single mothers was back in high school. And I remember me and my buddy, really good friend of mine at the time, we were both seniors in high school, and I remember we both decided to go visit a lady that we really admire. We felt that she was like the most beautiful, most attractive girl in school, and we thought she was just the most beautiful thing in the world. And I just remember we decided to walk to her job, because I guess after school on weekdays, or I don't know if it was the weekend, I think it was a weekday, after school, she went straight to work, and she was at Save-On's or somewhere selling ice cream or something like that. She was working in the ice cream area. And so as we were walking there, we were kind of playing this game, just throwing in scenarios regarding, would we still take her, this girl, if, let's call her Jen, and, would we take Jen if, for example, she was 6 feet tall? And we would just kind of play that game as we were going to walk towards, her job, so we can talk to her, can connect with her. And I remember we were going back and forth with different scenarios, and sometimes, most of the time we said yes, because we still thought she was just attractive, she was beautiful, beautiful skin, beautiful laughter, just gorgeous. But I remember I playfully presented to my friend, I said, well, would you take Jen if she had a child, if she had a baby? And in my head I was thinking, well, that's really like nothing, of course she's still the same woman. Of course we would still see value in her. And I remember my buddy, even though he was convinced she was very beautiful, she was gorgeous, she was wonderful, she would be a great connection and all that stuff, and he was just attracted to her overall. But as soon as I gave that scenario with her having a baby, he said no. And then he told me the reason why I don't want that is because it's like having an automatic family. I'll never forget him saying that. He said it's like having an automatic family. And I'm not going to say I was a very strong Christian at 17, 18 years old, but I knew for a fact that didn't sound right to me. That didn't sound right to me. Like, you're going to not be with this woman because she has a child? And I just didn't understand that. I could not fathom why somebody would disqualify somebody because they have a baby or they have a child or children. And I didn't understand. And I do remember just being puzzled by that, because to me, Jen was still beautiful. She was still gorgeous. She was still herself. And I just didn't understand his mindset with that. But it was very confusing to me. It was very confusing to me overall, because that was my first introduction to some guys have this line that they don't cross when it comes to dating and considering single mothers. And I didn't realize that this was like a movement. And I don't know if you ladies know, but it's a very strong movement now. And I'm talking like even before Kevin Samuels came and went, there was like these communities that just really looked down on single mothers. They just figured women like that are not suitable to marry. Maybe they're suitable to play around with or entertain, but not actually be in a long-term relationship with. And I thought it was just sad that, even now I have a hard time understanding that, because I have friends, I have family members that, if I take interest in a lady, it actually happened earlier this year. There was a lady I was taking interest in, a lovely lady. She has 2 boys, they're fairly young, but her marriage didn't work out, and I thought it was just interesting, because I remember I was talking to a family member about this lady, and I was very optimistic. I even showed him a picture of her, like, hey, this is a lovely lady. What do you think? What do you think I should pursue her? And as soon as he found out she had children, he just said no. He was like, man, no. Like, you have to deal was so much with a single mother, and I just didn't understand that, and I still don't, to be honest with you. Now, I will say, to some extent, and I want to make I want to make a distinction because I think this is important to do. Yes, there are some mothers that didn't work out, things didn't work out with their previous relationship or relationships, and over time they learned, they matured, and I believe that they are, women that are suitable for marriage. They've learned their lesson. They understand what doesn't work. They're not going to apply the same principles that didn't work, and they're switched up. They appreciate a quality guy, and I think that we should give them an opportunity and give them a chance. Now, take it, of course, we have to be attracted to them, physically, emotionally, spiritually, all that stuff, but I think it's the wrong move for us to deprive ourselves and even just disqualify someone when, even that child or those children can be so much more of an enhancement or an enrichment opportunity for our lives, So I personally, I'm not intimidated by the idea of dating a woman that has children. I don't think that should be an issue. However, what I am against is a woman that has had a series of failed relationships or even one, and she's a single mother, and she demonstrates that she has not learned from the past. She has not learned. And she's still making the same mistakes still to this day. In her late 20s, in her 30s, in her 40s, possibly 50s. I think that that's not a good idea for any traditional, conservative, God-fearing, valuable man to invest in. I don't think that that's a good idea for a man to invest in. And it's the same thing with women. I don't think it'd be wise for a woman to invest in a man that, made mistakes in the past, and now he's still making mistakes, the same ones today, like he hasn't learned anything. But I don't understand the whole forbidding dating, the whole single mother thing. I don't understand it. I think that our women are made in the image of God, and they have value and they have worth. They have they're image bearers of God that we serve as Christians. And so I think it's just terrible, especially when Christian men participate in philosophies and movements like this. This is contradictory to what biblical Christianity teaches. One of the key principles that separates our faith from every other faith is forgiveness, and the idea of holding someone, in this bondage and not forgiving them for making mistakes, that's of the devil. It's something that we don't do as Christians. We do not live our lives like that. We don't entertain, living our lives in that way. And think about the rest of us. Think about myself. Like, I've made some mistakes, and just because I haven't impregnated anyone and I don't have children, it doesn't mean that my sins are lesser than someone else's that have children with somebody that maybe they shouldn't have connected with. I think it's an awful philosophy to disqualify a woman just because she has children. I think it's stupid. Now, I'm all for the quality of a lady. If she has not learned from the past and she's still making those same mistakes in her late 20s, in her 30s, in her 40s, yeah, there's a problem. I don't think a man should be investing in a woman like that. But it's very hard for me to understand why we would disqualify someone when they have children. Now, one thing I will share, and I'm going to try to make this towards the end, but I do remember my very first relationship with somebody, and I was dating this lovely lady for about a year. And I remember she wasn't as affectionate towards me as I would have liked. And I recall I remember I took her to a theme park. I think it was Six Flags or Disneyland. I think it was Disneyland. I'm trying to remember which place. It was probably, I don't know which place. But I remember just having so much fun with her. But I remember at one point we were in a very long line. I think it was in the summer. This is like when I was in my mid-20s dating this woman, years ago. But I remember in line, just about everyone was paired up with their girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife, and everyone was just about kissing, cuddling, and just enjoying their affections towards one another. And I just thought it was so nice, And for me, because I was with my girlfriend and she had her, 6 or 7-year-old, she was just kissing him and cuddling him. And I don't think she was trying to get me angry or anything, but I think she was just naturally showing affection towards him. And I kind of felt left out. I kind of felt like I want some affection too. And I think that's the only area other than a woman not learning from the past and stuff like that. I think that's an issue that I would have as a woman not capable of balancing out, some of that attention, steered towards me as well. Because if I'm her partner, if I'm supposed to be dating her, if I'm supposed to be engaged to her, if I'm supposed to be married to her, then yes, I think it's important that I, as her partner, somebody that has decided to connect with her, to be with her in a long-term relationship, I deserve some of that affection as well, So I think that that's something important that ladies have to consider, is make sure you're not leaving out your partner if you do have children. Yes, you have a responsibility to work with your children. And let me just say, in closing, any true, genuine man of God, I'm going to say, and that's the standard, a man of God is not going to disqualify a woman just because she has children, Now, I understand we all have different preferences, so I'm not, knocking that, but yeah, there are some guys that they want to have their own children, they want to have their own families, so I can respect that. But I think the issue I have is men demonizing women because they have had children with people in the past and things didn't work out, and so they're kind of demonizing and holding those women hostage in bondage because they're like, hey, they made a mistake, so therefore they're not qualified for a relationship. And I think that's just very arrogant, you know, but I will say, I do remember feeling left out when I did not get some of that hugging, kissing, cuddling in that line, and I've seen all these other couples, and so that's another thing that I would have an issue with, you know. But obviously I would hope that I would be dating my partner, so I'd be learning gradually about her personality and things like that, you know. But I just wanted to share that because I think it's a very important topic, and I know that there are a lot of guys really just going after and going in to single mothers, and I think it's really sad. Again, some ladies, I think if they've learned and they are, you know, lovely ladies, they have attractive traits, not only physically but, you know, emotionally, spiritually. Yes, I think it would be sad to overlook a woman that has those traits, and we can build something with them. But at the same time, if the woman is not displaying a rich character like she's learned from the past, then yeah, I think we should avoid that type of person. All right, guys, God bless you guys. Hope this was helpful. Just wanted to share my thoughts and put my thoughts in this whole discussion. Take care. God bless you guys. I'm here at Irvine Great Park here in Orange County. So God bless you guys. Take care and peace.